There you go. And after the featured reading, we're going to turn off the cameras and have some privacy for our open mic. And we're going to try not we're not going to take a break after the feature and just go right into the open mic, see how that works tonight. I'm going to start us off with a poem by Vasco Popa, and I might be pronouncing that wrong, so I apologize. This is called The Little Box's Admirers. Sing, little box. Don't let sleep get the better of you. The whole world is awake within you. In your four-square emptiness, we turn distance into closeness, oblivion into memory. Don't let your nails go loose. Through your keyhole, we see for the very first time regions beyond the world. We turn your key in our mouths and gulp down letters and numbers from your song. Don't let your lid fly off. Don't let your bottom drop out. Sing, little box. Yeah. All right. Jessica Cuello's book, Liar, was selected by Dorianne Laux for the 2020 Barrow Street Book Prize. She has other publications out. She's got, Hunt by WordWorks, Pricking by Tiger Bark Press, and her newest book is Liar, as I mentioned before. She's won prizes like the 2016 Washington Prize, the New Letters Poetry Prize, a Saltonstall Fellowship, the New Ohio Review Poetry Prize. She's the editor at Tahoma Literary Review. She teaches French in Central New York. Let's give a huge, loud welcome to Jessica.
Thank you so much. Feels really good to be among people. This book came out in October, about 2 weeks ago, and I haven't done any readings live. So you're my first live reading, and you may be my only live reading. I don't know. So this is a great space. Thank you. If the father has no bread, he's an empty pantry, the riddle, the prank call, the ding-dong ditch. He's a voice in the walls, the closet with its unwashed smells. If the father has no rent, if his teeth are missing, he's the bum next door, the phone off the hook, idle in the devil's hands. If he lives next door with a woman, not the mother, he is the neighbor. If he shakes her until the bruises and the black eye, until the police in the foyer, he is the criminal. The apartment is long and narrow, a tunnel from end to end. The front door is a portal to the back, where ahead the child saw last, the last time, then never again. The back steps are a concrete plank where he will walk expelled. If the father has a first name, is not called father, if he's a lapse in judgment, if the father can't be counted, can the child? And you don't have to clap after every poem if you don't want. The poems are kind of dark, so I'm about to get darker, so you might feel weird clapping. But I don't need it, thanks. Some of the poems in this book are based on misspellings from my students' work. I teach high school. I used to teach English. I do teach French now. And this is one of the misspelling poems. It's Hunger, Hungur. Hunger was secret, hump on the back, the something else, the body insisting that it was present. Heavy child head, teeth in rows, an assemblage of girl put together like a word. Shame was the time of day. The body spelled need, with her ugly limbs, half bone, half skin. Shame to eat, shame to pee, shame to enter in and exit out. Grown-ups made a body, made it like a weed and sent it to school. The bones grew, the skin stretched. The body sat in the square of desk. Hunger pulled, the alphabet lined the board. The words this, that, those were tacked to the wall. Strange sons, the head grew toward. This is an ode to loneliness. You're a room with no doors, the innermost white ash of the fire, a wool coat with X's sewn on the inside. You are a liar. We lie side by side. You shape the ceiling face, sing from the iron vent, whisper to the one-armed boy. When the child wakes in the empty house, you are waiting. They say you live in fields of snow, but you hate starkness. I breathe your cold skin. You are a gravestone face, a nursery rhyme in the body, the old man who played one, who played knick-knack on my thumb. When the nurse's tender fingers touch your neck, you cry. Your nerves are pale strikes of lightning across the silent lake. We touch with just eyes. You read to rid yourself of invisibility, and at night become a lone toll booth worker, hunched with fluorescent desire. This is the right height, right? I can't tell. Yes. Yes? Okay. Okay, good. Limbo. I draw an eye on my notebook, a swirl of ink. I'm not sure whose, but it sees me when my brother can't. He lives with us but died somewhere back in childhood. He won't say how. His limbs move well enough to walk to school and back. I've seen his vacant eye, seen him in the hallway in his same sweatshirt. He won't pronounce my name, he skips the I, he shuts his door. We once were close, walked hand in hand, pre-language, we shared a bed. My notebook I is more alive than he, grain of paper, welt of ink. It sees more than a dead boy, and because he does alive things like sleep and eat, I can't mourn. My babysitter, Karen B., who was sent to Willard Asylum. And if you're from Central New York, you might be familiar with Willard Asylum, which closed, I think, in the 90s. There are only 2 photos of me as a child. She took them. She had no child. She had cool cigarettes and a job at the drugstore. She gave me the Crayola box with the built-in sharpener. 400 suitcases were stored in the attic of Willard Asylum for the Chronic Insane. She joined her twin brother there. She wore her black hair down. A child could admire it. She bought me an Easter basket, a stuffed rabbit whose fur rubbed off. She walked everywhere. She painted circles of blush on her cheeks. Loony, people said so. I mean grown-ups who saw signs, who passed her on our street before she started to call and say, remember. On the phone she said, remember. Remember the date we killed her brother, forgetting he'd been committed. I took her hand and tagged along like an animal. She was perfect to a child. In 1995, when the asylum closed, an artist took photos of the 400 suitcases. The photos were put online, the contents laid out respectfully. In the open suitcases, Lone Ranger cards. I skipped a line. In the open suitcases, belts, pocket knives, Lone Ranger cards, keys, ribbons, shoe polish, mirrors, pills, a fountain pen, bottle of glycerin, a zither, kit of needles, bread ration card, the Gospel of John, a letter. Each suitcase had a name: Lena C., Lillian L., Mary T., Gloria P., Cassie M., Francis T., Marion R., Catherine S., Dimitri Z., Ruby C., Anthony C., FJ L., Viola G., Alice T., Carrie L., Karen B., remember. I nod when the school's visiting doctor asks if I eat 3 meals a day. In my family, you recreate invisible and freeze like a rabbit. You do not cry. God can read your mind. In my family, you lie in the snow and dream how your birth happened. The rough edge of the tabletop, the knuckles of the artist father who paints all night in a disease, then leaves and leaves. No one confesses anything. The black and blue mother scrapes herself together, and into the world comes a baby with her mouth open. In my family, you tame your needs. You bite but don't chew the winter leaves. You drink milk-white snow from your mittens. This is a pantoum, so you'll hear the repetition. Laundromat with single mother. We put our clothes in trash bags and took a cab to the laundromat, where I gave her the cold shoulder. The windows were floor to ceiling glass. We took a cab to the laundromat, where outsiders could see my cold mother through the floor to ceiling glass, getting us clean and see how we got mothered. Twice she birthed herself, in us she got us clean, a young mother who folded each piece of cloth. Twice she gave birth. Her clothes and ours touched her hands. She folded each piece. I buried my face in the warm clothes that touched her hands. I was the youngest child. I buried my face in the clothes. I was critic and girl, the youngest child. She stacked the piles in trash bags, ordered her critic and girl to keep an eye out for the cab. She carried out the trash bags when it was time to go, and we watched for the cab. I was a silent, cold shoulder. The cab honked at us to hurry, and she grabbed my cold shoulder in silence like it was her own limb. That shirt makes you a whore because it's black. This is my only funny poem, so thank you. It's also dark, but it's funny, thanks. That's a title. I paid for the whore shirt with my own money, bought it at the mall. It was buttoned down and satin to the touch. Who was this whore that had never kissed anyone, not even her mother? Who would not menstruate until she was old enough to leave home, until she had tasted fat, the pleasure of its depth. Whoreness must have started at the sleepovers when we played hooker. We stripped for each other. No, whoreness started younger, at 3, at 2, at birth, in the womb, whoring with balled fists and floating in the Horsey. When the 11-year-olds played streetwalker, I was the best. What did the best mean? It meant no smile. It was shame in girl form, which was shame's first form. It meant relinquish the body. It meant do not eat in front of others. Do not pee in public bathrooms, not even school. It was the body in plain sight, but hidden. The girl's small cocked hip in the room of girls. And I'm just going to read 2 more. Oh, my son is here tonight. I don't know what you thought of that poem, Gabe. I think he's heard me read that. Feeding ritual. Write the instructions in a list. Rise, get dressed, turn his head, latch his lips. Trapped inside the breast is the wholly lost, the untaught lesson. The milk won't stream. Milk is dammed against his mouth. I listen for a whisper, for the instinct. I listen, but no one. Once I saw a Roman Christ with beard and breasts. She was lifting up a stained glass hand. But I was late. It was before I was a girl mother, before I was swollen and could not feed. Stuck in glass, always on the verge of teaching. Can you hear the hand, the little sucking? Can you hear the breast, her sad blue rivulets? What you can't hear, you must list. I think I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much for listening. So, thanks.
Hey, thanks, Jessica. It's nice you guys finally got it all out, the applause that you were holding in.